Let me paint you a picture. It's a scenario that's probably all too familiar. A customer orders a new desk, super excited, but the dimensions on your site, they were pulled from some old, forgotten spreadsheet. So of course the desk arrives, it doesn't fit, and bam! You've got an angry customer, a return that's costing you money, and a shiny new one-star review tanking your rating. This isn't just a small hiccup, it's a direct hit to your reputation and your wallet.
But what if you could just make that whole problem disappear? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover. We're going to break down how to take that scattered mess of product information and turn it into your single, most powerful sales tool. It's all about mastering your product data.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll dig into the real cost of that data chaos. Then we're going to clear up a really common point of confusion, the data sheet versus the spec sheet. After that, we get hands-on. We'll build out a master blueprint, show you how to turn those dry specs into actual sales, and then wrap it all up with a bulletproof data validation workflow.
All right, first up, let's really talk about the high cost of chaos. I'm not just talking about the frustration of not being able to find the right file. We're talking about the real, tangible price you pay when your product data is a disorganized mess. And look, the numbers here are just brutal. A staggering 87% of people, that's nearly 9 out of 10 customers, say they are unlikely to ever buy from a brand again if they get inaccurate product information. That's not just a lost sale, that's a lost customer for life, all because of bad data. So, how do we fight back? The solution is beautifully simple in concept, a centralized product data sheet. You need to think of this as your command center, your master file, the single source of truth for every single product you sell. It's your best defense against errors and inconsistencies. Okay, now for a really key distinction that honestly a lot of businesses get wrong. The data sheet versus the spec sheet. They sound similar, but they are not the same thing, not even close. One is designed to tell a product's entire story, while the other just gives you the cold, hard facts. So here's the breakdown. A spec sheet is just the what. It's the hard facts, the voltage, the fabric blend, the megapixel count, objective details. But a product data sheet, that's the what, the why, and the how. It takes all those specs and wraps them up with the marketing story, the shipping info, and links to all your photos and videos. The best way to think about it is this. A spec sheet is a single chapter, the product data sheet is the entire book. All right, so let's get practical and start building out this master blueprint. And I want to be clear, this isn't just about making another spreadsheet. This is about designing the core architectural plan for your entire product catalog.
Every good blueprint starts with a rock-solid foundation. And for us, that's what I call the fingerprints. These are the unique identifiers for each product, the stuff that's non-negotiable. We're talking about the SKU, your internal tracking code, the GTIN, the barcode, and the manufacturer part number. Alongside those, you have the core technical specs, the dimensions, the weight, the materials, all the hard data.
Now part 2 is where the magic happens. This is the story. This is where we add all the marketing and sales copy, the catchy product name, the compelling descriptions, the benefit-driven bullet points. But it also includes crucial logistics info, like package dimensions, and most importantly, direct links to all your digital assets, your images, your videos, your instruction manuals. This is so important because it ensures everyone, everywhere is always using the latest, greatest approved media.
Okay, so having all that data in one neat place is amazing. But let's be honest, raw data doesn't really sell anything, does it? This next part is all about data enrichment. It's about how we transform those dry technical facts into compelling copy that actually makes someone want to click that Buy Now button.
So take a look at this typical before scenario. Let's say we're selling a hiking boot. The spec sheet just lists the facts. Material, Gore-Tex, Vibram outsole. Weight, 1.5 pounds. Feature, ankle support system. I mean, to an engineer, that's great info, but to a regular shopper, it's just a boring list of words.
And now, check out the after. See the difference? We didn't just list the features. We translated them into benefits. Gore-Tex becomes conquer any trail with confidence. Vibram outsole becomes unmatched grip. All of a sudden, you're not just selling a boot with features. You're selling the experience of a great hike.
Now you're probably thinking, great, but writing that for thousands of products would take forever. And you're right. That's where AI becomes your absolute superpower. The process is actually really simple. You just feed those core specs from your data sheet into an AI model. Then you tell it the tone you want, maybe professional for your website or fun and casual for Instagram. And boom, it spits out multiple versions of killer copy for you to choose from.
But here's the thing, and this is so important. Even the most beautifully written copy in the world is completely useless if the data it's based on is wrong. That brings us to our final and maybe the most critical step, creating a data validation workflow. Think of this as your quality control checkpoint, your last line of defense before anything goes out to the public.
Your first line of defense here should always be automated. You can set up simple rules in your system to catch all the basic common errors. For example, attribute rules can make sure critical fields like price or a barcode are never accidentally left blank. Dependency logic is even smarter. It says, hey, if this product is battery-powered, then you must fill in the battery type field. And format validation just stops silly mistakes, like someone typing 2 pounds instead of the number 2.
Now, automation is amazing, but it can't catch everything. A computer can check for completeness, but it can't tell you if something just feels wrong. You still need a human in the loop, and this is their checklist. Does the info match what the supplier gave us? Does this copy actually sound like our brand? Are the images high-res and, for the right product? And does the whole description even make sense? This is the step that protects your brand's integrity.
So finally, your data is clean, it's rich, it's validated, you're ready to send it out to the world. But here's the last hurdle. One size does not fit all. Just look at this. Amazon gives you 200 characters for a title, but eBay only gives you 80. Google Shopping and Amazon use totally different names for their category fields. You can't just copy and paste. You have to map your master data to meet the unique rules for every single channel you sell on.
So, as we wrap things up, I really want to leave you with this one question to think about. Your product data. It's the absolute foundation of your entire customer experience. Every ad they see, every product page they land on, it's all built on that data. So you have to ask yourself, is your foundation built on solid rock, or is it built on shifting sand?